for genuine people. What do I mean? Now, a number of people who came in, and whether by mistake or by non-delivery, they couldn't deliver, and people call them fraudulent. Now, those who are now genuine, who wants to deliver to them, people now have a problem believing them. So, as it were, it has become a crowded market, which can make it seemingly impossible for you to grow your business. All right. Now, the good news is this. Now, still on the same page, the good news is this, that growth is within your hands. And there are a variety of actions that you can take to actively grow your business, reaching new clients and making more sales along the way. There are a lot of things. Now, let me let you know that a number of times, it is not everything that you will apply in getting sales in real estate that you learn from the classrooms. Now, it has to do with you building contents, building capacity for you to be able to know what is obtainable and applicable in new places and new terrains you get to. For instance, you can tell me that you watch the real estate series called The Apprentice, done by Donald Trump, and you want to apply everything you saw in there in this present situation in Nigeria, you'll be getting it wrong. So it means that it is not everything you see in books that you can apply to the present economy where you belong. So you need to see it and see what works for you. For instance, for a woman who lives or a man who lives in an organized estate, for instance, let's take for instance Cooperative Villa in Badore. I don't know if anybody has got in there. Yes, sir. It's massive. It's big, and you see waste bins outside in each of those houses. Now, I can tell you that one of the things you need to do is to make sure that at least you try to get stickers of your company or what you do. You can stick it to the bins. And what that says is that the owner of those houses will see it one way or the other, maybe while driving out or something. Now, if I teach you that and you go to a place like Agege and you want to be sticking, so where will you stick your stickers? So what I'm saying in essence is this. In most cases, you need to sieve out what will work for your environment and wherever you find yourself part-time. All right, next slide, please. Now, I'd like you to know that these are ways to build your sales. Now, if you have set up your real estate agency and you desire new ways to give your business a boost in this era of technology, because COVID-19 brought technology with it. Now, I tell people humorously that when COVID-19 came, what happened in heaven was that God pushed the default button of the earth and He restarted the world from the beginning again. So if you make it, congratulations. So everything needs to change. It was a point where everyone sat down to reflect on what we've been doing before and how we could get it done better. So consider implementing these 5 real estate marketing strategies that will help you attract more potential customers and increase your sales opportunity. Number 1, offer virtual tours of your properties. Offer virtual tours of your properties. You agree with me that post-COVID, a number of people are not willing to go out for physical inspections. Why not offer a virtual tours? Now, when I say virtual tour, I remember a time, and I wrote it in here, that I remember a time that we sat down and we said, okay, now that things are changing, how do we make people inspect our properties? So what we did was, we did a video coverage of each of these properties, and we gathered everything inside a DVD and made it a DVD. Now, we took it to the US on a tour, and very easy. You don't talk too much. Please watch this CD. Watch the CD. Watch the CD. And everybody has visited our site from the US. Just one CD. I remembered a time that I had the privilege of meeting with the CBN governor, and he's a man that had no time. So I was given 2 minutes to speak to him. And I said, you know what, sir? Before the meeting, it's important that I have this CD with me. So we made sure it was all together ready. And seeing him, sir, I wouldn't take much of your time. Just go through the CD and we can talk after that time. And sincerely, he called me to see me after that time. So we took the discussion further. He took me inside his private sitting room. Let's talk. Now, because people tend to believe what they see than what you say. Now, and that's one of the genetic makeup of men that, quote and unquote, they say we are moved by what we see as men. And women are moved by what they hear. So you are married and you are not telling her, I love you. And the security man is saying, Madam, you look good. You look good. You look good. Now, small, she don't go. You look good. You look good. Say, Musa, you should know David now. But men, the moment we keep saying something, you keep saying something, you keep saying something, you give it a rethink one day. You married to a woman, she's not always around. And you keep saying the house help, taking care of you, giving you food, giving you, laying the bed, doing everything. One day, will be one day. Now, that's it. It's all embedded. We must put it in there. There is a need for you to improve and do virtual tours. Now, I told us of you sometimes back, and I said, you know something? I need the coordinates of every of our sites. Just give me the coordinates. If there's a need for anybody to go to any of this site, right from the office, if they are built up structures, just put in the address on Google Maps and let it take us there. Now, there is a way you can drive from where you are to where you are going on your phone. And you see all the structures on the way, right, left, and conclude the inspection on the phone. And if there are plots, there's a way you can impute the coordinates inside another app that can take you to that site. So, technology has left us with options to pick from. Are we together? Yes, sir. Number 2, organize a webinar to generate leads. Organize a webinar to generate leads. Now, don't just assume that people can see you or that you are visible enough. There is a need for you to organize webinar. Now, they are one of the key techniques of inbound marketing. And it happens when a potential client is actively seeking a solution to a problem. Now, a number of times when we make banner for webinar and you push it out, the people that are likely to come are mostly people who need solution in that area of need. It's not just everybody. Most times, when you push it out, when you push out your banner, most people that will indicate interest would actually be people who are property seekers, who are searching for something they need. And they want to hear you. What do you have to say? What are you selling to them? What are the offers? What are the options that you have? And some of them get your contact and they talk to you after the program. So set up a webinar. Don't be afraid of the fact that maybe you may be saying that people don't know you. You have to start somehow. A great man said, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. You have to take steps. Now, this popular quote says, Rome was not built in a day, but at least it started with a step. So you need to just take steps. Take steps anyhow. Now, the people that we know today and we celebrate, that many of us follow on social media, they started someday. So you have to start anyhow. Anyhow, just start. Now, I told someone, I said, see, you don't have any problem. Everything you need, God has given you. I said, Ma, look at my face very well. you will not save money to borrow to do this project. Whatever you have is what you will start with. If all you've got is your phone, start with that phone. Don't be looking for the camera that is not missing. Fact. And I gave her a very illustrative example. And I said, see, go and look at Wole Arole, how he started. He started with what? With what, sir? Alpha Sule. He started doing something with his phone. And he will be doing the selfie. He used his selfie stick to be doing his videos. Now, today, to bring Wole Arole to come and speak, or to come and MC your event, or to come and crack you up, you will pay something good. He has become a global phenomenon using his phone. Please start with that phone. Now, a number of us are complaining around that I don't know how to go about it. But actually, you are carrying a solution around. A phone of 300,000. A phone of 350,000. I told somebody someday, I said, you know what? I said, I never craved to use an expensive phone for no reason. The reason why I accepted to use that phone is because of the quality of my video. Because, okay, you want them to watch you. You have some money with you, however small it is. Get a phone that has a good camera. You can start with that. What I have to say today, it doesn't matter the way you look. Just look anyhow for a start. You'll be getting feedbacks. People will be telling you, it could have been better if you do this. It could have been. From there, you'll be growing. Don't seek perfection. One of the limitations of people who are, choleric people, is a number of times they seek perfection. They just want it to be perfect. And I worked with somebody like that many years ago. And when we are building, he will say, bring down this thing. I don't like it. Tomorrow, bring down that thing. And the timing of delivery to customers keep extending. So one day I told him, I said, sir, if we keep doing this, the name will be destroyed in the market. Nobody is thinking how you are thinking, that you want a perfect finish. Now people will be thinking we have an issue. Sir, let us stick to the materials we have on ground. Use it to deliver it. After all, they were not local materials. We brought them from Dubai. Suddenly, he slept and woke up and said, he wants us to use UK lights. Remove this, remove that. Sir, let us leave it at this. The next project will be an improvement over this. So never seek a perfect phone to start doing webinars. Start with whatever you have. The next slide, please. Number 3, email marketing. Many of us are aware of this, and we know this. Trying to get ourselves a mail chip so we can actually begin to send emails to a number of people that we have. A friend of mine was traveling overseas, was relocating from Nigeria to the US at a time, and she gave me one gift I will never forget. Ask me, what is it? So, you have an idea?
No, we're listening.
Okay. Psychologist, you should be able to tell me. Email. A gift I will never forget. You are close to it. You know what she gave me? She gave me a bag of call cards, complimentary cards. All the contacts she has ever made in the hotel where she worked as a manager. One of the best gifts. It was a bag filled. I began to sort it out. I gave it to some of my younger colleagues in the office. Began to come and see GMDs of companies. Come and see CEOs. Come and see. Tell me any company. I'll bring out a card of One Top Shot. I kept it in the secret place. It's one of, Please treat every opportunity you have to network with people with every respect you have. I mean, sometimes, some few months ago, we spoke and she said, hello, I hope you are taking care of those cats with you. I said, yeah. No, you don't tell me that. So I said, one thing I wanted them to do first was, I just told my secretary, I said, you just, first of all, type out all of, now begin to separate it before you type it. People, yes sir, sorting sir. We started with sorting. First, bring out all the people in the agri sector, bring people in mining sector, banking sector, real estate sector. Just think of any sector, they are there. Now, list all of them out. Now, let's now work on how to send them an email, a bulk email. After that, another department took charge of making calls. Those who won't pick calls, at least they'll see emails. So then began to do WhatsApp messages and all of that. So, and these are measures with which to connect with people who matter. Now, you have friends in some top places. Why can't you ask them for contacts? Yeah, and one of the best contacts you can get, one of the things you can get, even if they can't give you their phone numbers, is emails. Now, I'm sure Mr. Richard has done justice to that at one time or another, maybe on the group, about email marketing. About to. Okay. There's a special package for that, which he would give to us for free. No, don't be afraid. Amen. So, it's a tool for customer loyalty. When people, there's something I saw in the life of the MD of Gtext, Mr. Stephen. And this is one of the things he started bombarding the world with. Email. You see email. You see email. You see email from him, from one person. At the initial stage, it doesn't matter. The second time, one of those things. The third time, it's the same thing he's sending. You keep receiving it almost every day. I heard some people say they blocked him. One day, you just be like, let me even read this thing that this guy is sending. Before you know it, let me even try him. Whether I can send to a few of my clients for me. It's working. Can I see you? They call for an appointment. And from there, things began to happen. So you can't take away email marketing. It's very important. Please. Now, and it is the main driver of customer retention for 80% of marketers. And according to a study by eMarketer, now, therefore, one of the main objectives of any content marketing strategy is the generation of leads. Use it to generate leads. Now, it's a channel that grants direct and personalized communication with users. And somebody said, Catherine Batchett said, make a customer, not a sale. Make a customer, not a sale. You are not doing it because you want to sell. You are doing it because you want to be visible. You want to be visible. So when they think of what you do, it is your name that comes to their mind. Because they are seeing you every day through what you're doing, the mails you are sending to them. They are seeing you. There are some names you mentioned that I know that I receive emails from them almost every day. So when I think of doing that thing, I go back and check their email and see how I can get contacts from there. Then I follow them up. Next slide, please. Number 4. Every agent should think like a small business. Every agent should think like a small business. Remember, we're talking about the 5 steps that will boost your real estate sales. Every agent should think like a small business. Now, the majority of real estate agents are independent contractors. Succeeding as an independent contractor and being in control of your growth means thinking like a small business rather than as an employee. Think of how to make a business out of what you do, not just collecting commission. Set up a small office. Raise other people. Make them work with you. Now, when I say this a number of times, People are always thinking of, how do I pay them? No, leave that for God. Let me tell you something. While I was privileged to be with Property Mart a number of years ago, one of the things that helped me is how to act. Even though I was a staff there, but I had the opportunity of doing my own business under another business. And I remember the particular year that I was privileged to have gone to the school where I finished my first degree from, and I was to be honored with an award. And while I was there, God kept talking to me. You can raise many of these final year students as your agents. You can raise, because it was the final year brethren of that church that invited me for an award as the best alumni in my set. So, and he kept coming to, you can raise them as agents, because many of them were finishing school and they were not sure of what next to do, because youth service will not come immediately that year. So, when it was time, after the award, it was time for me to give a remark, and after the short remark, and I said, I'm extending the opportunity to each one of you who would like to work with me to sell my company's products as an agent. If you've been interested, this is the address in Lagos, and this is the time I'll be having an interview. Come and see crowd that day. And I was a staff in an organization. But before they came, I told my employer that I was expecting a number of people, which I don't know the number, but I'm expecting. I have an interview today. He said, are you sure that you can control or manage these people? I said, let's see how it goes, sir. All right. At the end of the interview session, I got some of my colleagues to be in the panel. At the end of the interview, I was able to get 13 numbers to start with. So the 13 were to be trained. So all the things my God to have taught me, I taught them. Now, the things my God taught me, 1, 2, the books I've read, 3, the CDs I've listened to, and everything put together. Now, meanwhile, before I brought them in, God had already started helping me in the place of that sales. So all the practical lessons, fast forward, they started going out. 2.5 was what I was giving each one of them per week to go out with. As impressed. Thank you, sir. Aha. Amen. 2.5. No, it was much at that time. I mean, for somebody who was still a staff under a company. But one of the things I've always advocated is that for everything you earn, you should always keep what they call seed money. Seed money. Always keep it. This is a money that if anybody wants to die, let them die. Nothing must touch it from your earning. After as a Christian, I've removed my tithe, I've removed my commitment to my parents, and I've removed what I would use to take care of myself, my transportation. I want to get jackets, look good and look better than last month, and so on and so forth. I still have my seed money, and usually it's always a 10% of what you earn. So from this seed money that I've saved over time, so I started taking from it to be funding those agents who were to work with me. So 2.5 times 13 was what was going out in a week. And it took me close to about 3 months to put myself in them. Okay? At the end of 4 months, before then, maybe what I'll do in a week would be like 10 plots per week. Then it was purely site and service scheme we're doing. Maybe 10 plots per week then. But when they joined me, these 13 people, I started declaring 500 plots per week. That was when my life turned around. So you don't know what you are doing when you are raising others. God told me at the time, he said, if you don't raise people, you will soon be erased. Raise people. You can't, You can't be everywhere at the same time. You lie. It is only God that can be everywhere because it's the omnipresent. So when I am seated in a position, I have 13 people that are representing me in 13 different locations. The highest that will happen is when you get there and you're having issue, put a call through to me. Let me talk to them. And I say, so when they are there, God has made me the angel room. I'm praying for them. That you will come back with testimony. So, don't see. And some of my colleagues will be looking at me and be saying, is it not me that is sitting down there? Won't you let me sit down, Joe? They just sit down and join me in the office. On Monday, when it is time to declare, last week was not, we thank God, last week, maybe 500 plus. It's a lie. Account, is it true? Is the money in the account? And before you know it, it became highly competitive. People started raising people. My colleagues started raising, and that was where my first company was registered, called Gtext Homes. Gtext Homes. And it was registered by the wife of my MD, that we have seen that you are truly interested in this business and will help you. She registered it. She's a lawyer. She registered it for me, and I paid her the money maybe like 2 or 3 times for the registration then. And that was how I started growing under another umbrella. So think of doing it like a business. Before I knew it, my boss gave me the back of the office, the BQ. That became my office because of my people. Meanwhile, my own office is still upstairs in the main building. So when I'm done with the people, I was the head of sales then. When I'm done with the larger people, my colleagues, then I still have to go and attend to my people downstairs. It became a project for me. There was no idle time. See, that was why I started by saying that it's a question of working hard and working smart. See, by privilege, away from this training now, by privilege, I serve as the youth pastor of Winners Canaan Land. And that's, of course, one of the largest churches in the world. Now, I saw my mentor, my father, who some of you actually criticize a lot. Amen. So, and I heard him saying someday, he said, great men don't run normal schedules. They are abnormal people. They don't sleep when many of us sleep. If you must end up as an extraordinary person, you must do the extra. How many hours do you work in a day? I remember one of those nights that I had the privilege of going for a meeting with him. 1:30, 2 a.m., we're still talking, and his eyes were shining. Okay, if a man that is old enough to give back to me is still awake in the midnight, can you doze in front of him? No, I saw that this is one of the ways to count in life. Going the extra mile. When other agents are stopping at having just one person to assist them, get 20. How you manage them. If you don't get them, you won't stretch yourself. Get them. And see, one thing I've discovered about human is the fact that the way God made us, we are elastic in nature. If you find yourself in let me give you an instance. You find yourself in Ethiopia by tomorrow, and there is a time change or a time difference. You see how you quickly adapt. You find yourself in Canada. You don't use your time again in Nigeria. You adjust to the new time. If you don't stretch yourself, life will be hard on you. So those who take things easy in life are easily eased out of life. Don't take it easy. If you are not competing with anybody, people are competing with you if you don't know. Life is a battlefield. Real estate is a battlefield. It's only you that is remaining to collect millions. By His grace, I've made millions today. It's before I came here. By His grace. So it's something you have to make up your mind. We had when Mr. Richard was saying the other time, and was talking about the place of desire plus skill times faith equals success. And the place of faith is the mindset. How do you set your mind? There is a particular course many years ago that I had the privilege of getting to hear about, and I researched on it. And some of us here might have an idea about it, especially the psychologists, and that is the NLP. I'm sure some of you will know about it. NLP. You know about it? NLP. Okay. It's called the Neuro-Linguistics Programming. Okay. So what that means is this. We have all these things written here. When I was living in Bariga, I lived in Bariga sometimes ago, many years ago. When I was living in Bariga, I had so many things written on the wall of my life. I see people cursing themselves on the streets. I see two people fighting and they are using bottle to shoot themselves. All these things were registering in my mind unconsciously. When one day I was going to school, a car hit me. And the man came down and said, sorry, you give me money, go and treat yourself. I didn't buy anything. I used it to shop something. Before I knew it, unconsciously, I was growing up with a poverty mentality. Now, they were there. The wall of our lives is like a board where everybody writes different things on them and they go. Every actions and inactions that we come across, they are things that are written on the wall of this life. And each one of us have these walls. Now, when I gave my life to Christ as a child of God, even though I was still living in Bariga then, I was told that if any man be in Christ, a new creature, all things are passed away and all things are new. So that everything has to be new for me. So what happened? I began to consciously say that notwithstanding the background I have, everything must be new. So consciously and unconsciously, I started erasing these things. That even though somebody is cursing themselves, I take my eyes off and I say, I will succeed no matter what. I will now, consciously as I began to say those things and I began to look ahead of where I am going, now I began to tell myself, irrespective of my background, my back will never end on the ground. So, before I knew it, those things started rubbing off. They became new. Meanwhile, there is no vacuum in life. Something must be written there. I started mingling with rich people. I started sitting with them. I started hearing positive confessions. I started hearing billions. Even when they were spending thousands, I've been hearing billions since. And I started telling myself, I can also make these billions. When I see a shoe that has caught Bobby, that has tilted, when it comes to caught Bobby, Bobby hairstyle is on one side. When you see some shoes, it has caught Bobby. That means that's loose balance. I will say, I don't like this type. I go to the type I like. Even though then I lacked understanding, I started borrowing better things. Because I wished it, I wanted it, but it was not available. But as I was borrowing, one day God told me, He said, stop it. If you don't stop borrowing, you will never have your own. So I stopped it. So the few ones I have, I will take care of it. And I was looking like where I was going. Now, by the virtue of the association I started having, they started writing positive things on the wall of my life. I started saying positive things, positive friends, right people. I don't want to be found in the midst of gangsters. I started, one way or the other, as it was coming, the law of attraction? As you are thinking it, so it will be. All right. So, as I was thinking it, it started making it happen. Now, before I knew it, I saw that the billions I was hearing then became my friend. Amen. Okay. If you check the laptop, when you buy it newly, it's fresh. If you don't download anything on it, it's fresh. If the first thing you download on it is horrible movies, horror movies, that's what you'll be saying when you put it on. If you are tired of seeing horror movie, what do? You delete it, you format the system, and you now download better ones. And that's what you see. So erase your mind from what you have been fed with that you can't succeed in real estate. People are cashing out. At the end of one of my technical meetings a few days ago, I told one of my most respected engineers, and I said, do you know that there are some people in this country that they have never done one advert before, yet their products get sold before they finish? One of them is this man. You should know him. The man that uses Rolls Royce. You don't know him. Remember. He uses only Rolls Royce from Monday to Sunday. No. No. Sir? Sir?
No, I'm saying whether it's true, but I'm not.
No, sir. Okay. But I also will still be calling those ones Baba. He uses Rolls Royce, not one. He has fleet of Rolls Royce in his compound. It's a test now. No, sir. He's a friend to Shumubu. He's a friend to him, sir. Yes, sir. When this Oniwo of Iwo became the king, he went to visit him in his palatial mansion in Banana Island. No, sir. If you try it, sir, you get it. I won't say it. This man is into real estate. He lives in Banana Island. Yes. Chief Olu, he has fleets of Rolls Royce in his compound. Fleets, not one. Fleets. Monday to Sunday. And he's doing real estate every day. You will never see his advert. So where are the people buying? The power of association. The power of association. I've often told many of our people on different, globally, locally, and I've told them, I'll say, come, if where you used to eat bread and beans is where you continue to eat bread and beans, there are some money you never touch in your life. Okay? Change where you have lunch. Some people have never taken Uber in their life before, even though they brought it because of them. That at least you two sit like the owner now, but yet they'll still jump Marua Shani because you are trying to save money. No. You need to behave where you are going. Sincerely. It is not faking it. It is being real. But change your carriage. There was a day that, my boss bought me my first jacket. Then, after I joined him, my first jacket. It was then I knew that all the ones I had before were coats. That was me. I knew the difference. As SU in school, when you wear coats, as you are going, he's going on his own. The two of you are operating differently. If rain will fall and beat you once, you may not wear it again. Because all the teru they put inside. You know teru? Tell me now. Thank you, sir. That once rain beats it, the thing will start tearing. It was one level. But when God began to turn my life around, and He bought me my first jacket, and I wore it, I looked at myself in the mirror. He said, what do you think? I said, sir, I look younger than my age. He said, that's how I want you to begin to look from today. I will never forget that experience. So, why did I say this? You need to begin to look where you are going. The way you dress goes a long way to determine how you'll be addressed. You can't be telling me that you are selling a house of 40 million and you dress anyhow. It cannot work. It cannot work. I know how much I bought these jackets in the US. I know how much. It may not mean so much to you, but I know how much I bought it. Because I have to dress where I am going, not what I am going through. Such that when you get to some places. Now, let's leave the dressing now. Now look at even the cologne you use, the perfume. Having difficulty in breaking through our first sales. It's an all, if I tell you from A to Z, this is all you need to know, and I leave out some things, then you may still not make an headway. It all works together. There are places that before you speak, your belt will do the first talking. I saw somebody someday who was using a belt that looks like Bante. Bante is waist juju. You know, his belt was only one thread that was holding the two leather from falling. I said, if you go out this way and you get to a prospect and you tell him to come and buy a product of 10 million naira, a plot, even 1 million, sir, you get scared of releasing your check to him. That, if this one collect this one, belt to Lumakokora. He first buy belts. Sincerely. We don't dress because we want to impress people. No. We dress because of where we are going. That Uber, do it if you are not yet mobile today. And get there. Tell the driver, wait for me. I'm coming. Don't be afraid. Just save up for it. Make your presentation smart and sharp so that your bill will not accumulate. And give yourself a little prestige. One day I was somewhere and when you finish eating and they bring the bill and you say, praise God, you know that something has happened. But one thing I tell myself is this: I must make the money I used in eating this food before I leave this place. So when I pay the bill, I get up, I come and sit in front of you. How are you, ma? How you doing? Amen. You pay for my food today. Not that you pay that way. I have something to sell. All of you must pay for this food I ate here. Fact. So I am very intentional about everywhere I go, calculatively. Don't just go anywhere by accident. They invite you to an event. You see the IV. You already know that the event will not be sweet. You still go. Don't you know that when they give you invitation card, that's when you know whether it will be sweet or not? There are some events that when you see the card and it's on Saturday, you want to go there from Friday. I remember the time when Sissy Paris was to be launched. That's on Bodilon. That's what's this lady's name? Mike Adenuga's first daughter. Bella. No, she's not the first actually. Bella, she wanted to open Cisse Paris on Bordelon. So I was sent the invite to come. When I saw the invite, some of my colleagues in the office who saw it, they said, Pastor, we'll go together for this one. Because the invite is like passport to heaven. It's heavy. It's thick. It's double. It's like wood. It's only invite. Without the invite, you can't come in. People started begging me. I said, anyway, I can't tell whether they will allow you to come in. However, if they don't allow you to come, you stay in the car. Fast forward. It was a cute event. Just less than 40 people for a 10-floor high-rise. Just the commissioning, that's all. All built, not for sale, only for rental in dollars. Dress where you are going. So it's not that day they invited me that I'll quickly go and buy suits or jackets. You must be prepared because opportunity meets with preparation. So, my final point here is this. Invest in relationships and work towards long-term goals. Learn what you can about marketing. Create a business that is portable, flexible, and able to move and grow with you. You'll be much more able to weather changes in the market than someone who isn't thinking like a business owner. So the summary of what all I've said is make a business out of the agency work you're doing. Don't be quack. Let people know that you're a professional. I mean, those 13 people I started with then, by the grace of God, while I was with my boss, they've grown to be big people all over the world today. So anywhere I need where they are, I just write a note, send it to them. They are my sons and daughters. Keep raising people. Invest in relationships. Next slide, please. Number 5. Improve time management. Improve time management. Remember the saying that time is money. And this also applies in the real estate industry. It's impossible to truly grow your business when you are playing catch up to your do list. Rather than focusing on what can take you to the next level. Now, please note that one of the biggest causes of lack of time management is distraction. And that's a common problem for real estate agents. Many people are distracted. You see one man holding the flyer of 200 companies. By the time you finish talking to a prospect, the prospect will ask you, which one should I do? You say, oh, madam, you don't even know. Just pick one. You succeeded in confusing yourself and your prospective buyer. Get focused. Get focused. Don't be distracted. It is not every road that will lead to your market. Please. Don't go with that saying. It is not every road. There are some people that if you sell for them, you will enter into everlasting bondage. Research the company you are going to be dealing with well. I remembered when I was privileged to be the branch head of my company in Abuja then, that my secretary, probably she was pressed for money or she saw somebody who needed a particular place where we didn't have. So she went to sell for a particular company that she knew nothing about them. So at that year, I think it was 10 million naira plot of land or so. So the company had an issue. So the person she sold to was troubling her to get a refund. So it was at that time she came to confess to me. Said, Oga, I have offended you. I said, what's the offense? I did this. I said, so fix it now. You don't need to tell me. Say, Oga, the way these people are doing, they may come and carry me in the office. And there's no way you won't know. So I said I should tell you beforehand. I said, so you go to the company that you sold for now and sort it out. I said, they are not there against her. So what do you want me to do now? And please, even if there is any sin, don't tell them at the head office. I said, anyway, I'll try my best. But what am I bringing out of this is this. Very simple. Any organization you are not comfortable with, don't partner with them. I beg you. We have seen a little things. in this industry. Many of the real estate company owners have relocated. Many of them don't have address again. Yes. Please be careful. An easy-to-use time management strategy can be really effective in helping realtors complete specific tasks within a set amount of time. Let's move, please. Next slide, sir. How to become a successful real estate agent. Next one. 1. Don't always focus on selling. Don't always focus on selling. Now, although knowing good sales tactics is beneficial to real estate agents, you don't always need to make the hard sell. Don't tell people you must buy now. If you don't buy, the war will end. That's how some people do their marketing. No. Please, don't show desperation. It gets people scared. They run away. Sincerely. Now, there are people who enter the business class part of the airplane and they close deals in billions and you never see flyer in their hand. They're just talking business over a cup of wine. That's why they call it business class anyway. They do business inside. So the next time you are flying, please buy a business class ticket.
Yes.
And you know, one day, I just thought of it when I was in the airplane. And I said, no wonder they put curtain to separate between business and the. They don't give you anything. They just hide. Even people who are stingy before, they don't hide under COVID, not to give you anything. Please, don't just focus on selling. Just try to have a healthy conversation. Sincerely, when people feel so easy with you, when they feel free with you, they can part with their money. You agree with me? Than somebody who every time there are some people that when they are marketing you or selling to you, the moment you see them, your heart just do pa. That this boy has come again. It shouldn't be so. They should see me and say, I've been expecting you. Where have you been? What's up? Talk about their job. Talk about their family. Talk about... And before you know it, he doesn't know when he's writing the check. And he's saying, I'm buying it because of you. I don't know the company. So don't always focus on selling. Create conversations. Build relationships. Sincerely. The person who bought one of my company's products today before I came here, the last time I saw her was in 2015 in England. And from that time, I'm not somebody that talks, I don't have so much time on phone, but I can just post something on my WhatsApp status and she just say, I greet you, and I will respond. That's how we've been communicating just once in a while since 2015. So when I posted this particular product, she said, I think I like what I'm saying, or how far, blah, blah, blah. She has not bothered to go and see it. She has sent me the outright payment. It's not about selling now. It's about relationship. I sent 2 accounts to her, the company account and my private account. She told the person who is doing the Naira to me to do it to my private account. That I don't know company. I don't want to know the company. It's you I know. Don't always focus on selling. Be good to people. Not because of what you want to get from them. They may not most times buy from you, but they can refer people to you. That's how it works. When I see people, the moment I see some companies and they come and meet somebody like a project, they want to do projects. Like, Oga, if you don't bring out money today, something must happen. I just shake my head. Although there are places where I could put up those hacks, where I know that I've been on this person for some time, and today I have a target to come home with the check. But you will never hear from a mouth that today you must do the check. There are statements that will lead to something. Before you know it, know that, okay, even though the money is not yet in the account. But because of the fact that you must go home with a check. Okay, let me give you a positive check. So I get a positive check. But, in most cases, it's all about relationship first. Number 2, sir. Develop a business plan. Develop a business plan. Develop a business plan. When you're thinking like a business owner, your long-term success depends on many things. A good beginning business plan is one of the most important. So don't let your enthusiasm for getting a client right away keep you from important business organizing and planning tasks. So take time to understand your market and customers. Identify what sets you apart from other real estate agents. What is that thing that you now, from the BRG team, sir, you agree with me that there are plenty in number. So why should a prospect buy from you and not from another person? And meanwhile, there are some BRG members who are rich or quote unquote richer than you that can afford to even give souvenir before you buy any product through them. So now that you are not even giving anything, why should I buy from you? Now, a number of times, people think that, it's only when you are sugar-coated, you can say this, you can say that people will buy. Now, what information differentiates you from others? What exactly do you have as valuable content that will make me listen to you and I want to listen to you again? I was telling them some days back about, I was creating some topics and I was talking to them about how to use it as blogs. We're talking about it one of those nights. I think it was last week. Now, and one of those topics is, why is it that elites don't own homes like the illiterates? I don't know if you've observed it. Elites don't own homes like illiterates. Illiterates, when you look at, I'm talking statistics now from the University of Lagos. Somebody wrote a thesis for 7 years, and it was discovered that people who didn't go to school, they are landlords and landladies in Lagos more than people who are bankers. See, a new statistics came out post-COVID-19 that the 55 to 60% of homeowners in Lekki, 60% of homeowners in Lekki live in Ikeja. The landlords of Lekki, 60% of them, of these houses you see in Lekki, their landlords live in Ikeja. They don't live on the island. Now, 55% of homeowners in Banana Island live in Ilupeju, also on the mainland. So why are you bugaring me with your car? You see somebody who is driving latest Range Rover Sport coming out of a house. Ladies and gentlemen, sad enough, he's not the owner of the house. But how do you pass this message in such a way that will not insult your audience? Is what makes you different from other agents. These are information that when you stand before people to present to them, these are tips that you just slot in. That if they say homeowners in Lagos should come out, will you be able to lift up your hands and say I'm one of them? Because the truth is this, don't be deceived. In Africa, if you don't own property, you have not come to the world. That's the truth. I mean, an Oyinbo man can die and may not bother about owning a property. I mean, one of our expatriates many years ago, he inherited a property. He said he inherited from his own father. His father had inherited it from his grandfather. That one has inherited. So the property is over 350 years old. And that's where he lives, in Ireland. That's the Republic of Ireland. I mean, he doesn't see it as a big deal, and he's earning so much in dollars in Nigeria. But in Africa, You don't hold the property. Kí ló ń fowó ṣe? What have you been doing with money? They can take you to a place where they wash your head. Especially when you are earning 6 digits. Like seriously. So these are things that when you have enough knowledge of, these are little things that when I say some few statements where I'm to prospect, people want to listen to the next thing I want to say. Because you may call it preaching. You may call it eye-opening. But one thing is, I'm passing my message. Now, in University of Lagos, I'm running a program pre-COVID in Unilag on housing management and development. And one of the theses that somebody wrote borders on why do non-teaching staff own homes than the teaching staffs. And from one of the examples that was given, one of the professors left school, was to retire. And 6 months down after his retirement, he didn't have any place to go. And they said he begged for that 6 months. There was no place to go. Now, fast forward. Everywhere, these are people that will always say everywhere is far. So eventually they got a place for him in K2 Alapere. So actually it was a room and parlor because he could not afford a flat. A professor who retired. So, and eventually they said, the landlord have said, whoever is going to stay in that house, he has to meet with the person and approve of the person. Fast forward, he met the landlord and happened to be his driver in Unilag. Now, the driver is still driving in Unilag. It's just that he has been posted to somebody else. So when the prof saw him, go and call me your boss, Joe. I want to see the landlord of this place. He said, Prof, it's me. Where did you see money? It's the money we have. Now, it was discovered in the thesis also that a number of times, people who are in the academic field, they don't do all those contributions. Those non-teaching staffs always do. Those are job. They have their bags. When they collect their one collects a job, you go and buy land in E4. And be coming to Akoka from E4. Some of them will squat with their friends in town during the week and go home over the weekend. Meanwhile, a professor, big man, is living in a place where there is no uninterrupted power supply. Big man. Forgetting that one day your time will be up. They'll come and tell you, Oga, here my law. Or we little law. They say, come and be going home, sir. If you don't have any place to go, maybe you'll be going back to your village. Yes. So these are informations you need to have at your fingertips that when you are presenting, stylishly, you push it in without insulting anyone. And it will be eye-opening. That truly, I tell people, it is not a must that you must buy a property in town. If you can't afford it, you can buy somewhere else, build it, rent it out, collect your rents, and be using it to pay for the town you are living. That place you call bush today, by the time you are ready to retire, you have bought time with money. You can go back to that place. It will no longer be a bush again. At least to save your face of shame. This is one of the things that your business plan could carry. Just a short story. Next slide, please. We're rounding up now. Avoid assumptions. Every walk-in is a potential customer. Or I call it a potential commission. Everybody who walks in or that you walk in to see, what you see is money. You will also want to focus on your online presence, as 50% of buyers find the home they purchase on the internet. 50% of them. Most of the houses they purchase, they see it on the internet. Next slide, please. Number 4. Now, there are many ways to take your business's growth into your own hands and to the next level in order to stand out among the crowd. Test these ideas to see which one are most effective and then find ways to optimize them for even greater results. Thank you. Questions? Questions? Do we have questions as I submit to my Oga here? Questions? Okay, sir.
I want to ask, how can we build our new linguistic programming concept?
Okay.
In regards to building content,
Okay.
bring about the product we have or what we have about people.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now, NLP in itself is a course that you can actually learn more online. You see materials on NLP. You see on Google. Just type neuro-linguistics programming. So it will tell you more than the things I've mentioned. Then to tell you how all these things are being moved from, it moves from your eyes, what you see, and where it goes into, and how you form your decision based on what you are feeding your eyes and your ears with. Now, in case you at one time or the other find yourself in a place where a lot of things have corrupted your thinking, your thought life, and all of that, then there is a need for you to begin to rearrange and reorganize what you do now, where you go now, the people you talk to now, the books that you read. Now, not every books are for you. That's the truth. It's not every book you see you jump at. There are some books that the day you read them, you will come out and say there's no God again.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Not every book should be read by you. First thing I do when I see a book is to go and read about the author. I want to know about the author, then I want to go through the preface to see what's this book all about. So if it is not for me, I surrender to Jesus. It is not for me. So it's because it takes some time before you arrive at where you are, where the mind is diluted and polluted. So you also need some process to have everything cleansed and something new written on it. So you will do it consciously. So I tell myself, you don't have to listen to a song that will not glorify God. So sometimes, even though I don't play it, but maybe I'm just driving on the way. Yes, sir. You just be hearing something at the bus stop. That is not your business. You hear something like, Igbo. Now, when you get in, subconsciously, this thing will start playing. It will now come in as slow motion. I say, I bind you with the blood of Jesus. I don't hear. Nothing will scatter in my life. So, from that period, I knew that I am sensitive to the things I hear. I am more sensitive to the things I see. So, I must censor what I hear and what I see. So, it's in the place of real estate, you must all be out for excellence. Don't do business with a mediocre company. Don't do business with people who don't appreciate excellence. Do business with people who love excellence, people who crave excellence, people who talk excellence, people who are going excellence. So these are little ways, and you find more as you get to read more on NLP. Final question?
Well, mine is not really a question. It's,
Yes, sir.
It's a starting point, so to say,
Yes,
for
sir.
those of us, not as you and a couple of others. It's
No.
really true because, it's a growth process now.
Yes,
Now
sir.
We're
Yes,
being
sir.
birthed into this industry.
Yes, sir.
So how, without trying to be too presumptuous, can we reach you in case there's something that needs? Please, how did you write this type?
Okay, sir.
Is it possible to?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By His grace, sir. By His grace, I'll leave my contact, but it's actually a WhatsApp contact and a text contact. So, but nonetheless, the first contact you will get is Mr. Richard's contact and Mr. Dami. Yes, aha. They are my orgazo, So, but however, if it's looking like you are not still satisfied, I mean, by His grace, I will leave you my contacts and my social media handles. Sir, say, don't let me lie to you. Twitter, I don't really tweet out. It's not that I don't tweet out. Like, seriously. Okay, where's the time? But you'll find me on Instagram and Facebook partially. Yeah, on Instagram and Facebook. Adeyemi Adeniyi. Adeyemi Adeniyi on IG and Adeyemi Adeniyi on Facebook and at Pastor Nayo on Twitter and so then I think I have a book, not one book. I have some books on real estate. They are very cheap actually, just 1,000 naira. The money you use to buy snacks and you know what I'm saying. Just 1K. In one of the books, it will tell you about the things to watch out for if you must buy a land. And you see another chapter, things to watch out for if you must buy a house at Pastor Nayo. Yes, sir. So the things to watch out for if you must buy a house, what are those? There are things that we may not pay attention to, but when you go there are things to watch out for before you can go and tell your prospect to come and buy that place. You see those secrets in that book. So why I want you to buy property from your early age. Also, you see there how it grows with you as you buy, even though it is a number of times you buy property and you are building. I remembered a time, I also wrote it there, a time where somebody told me that he wanted to buy a bag of 150K. A bag of 150K. So I asked him, I said, so where is that your project? Tell me where it is. That you are doing something I don't like. So you have a project you didn't tell me about. He said, no, I don't have a project. If I have, I would have told you. And I said, and you want to buy a bag of 150K. I said, tell me the features of that bag. He said, the bag. I can take it to the office. And from the office, if I have a need to travel out, I can also turn it into a bag that I can take abroad. I said, okay. How often do you go abroad? He was looking at me. I said, so majorly it's for the office. Okay. At that time, they were selling a piece of block for 150 naira. A piece of block for 150 naira at that time. So, for you to complete a 3-bedroom bungalow with an attached BQ, a standard 3-bedroom bungalow, you need 5,000 pieces of blocks. So, when you carry a bag of 150K, you are carrying 1,000 blocks on this hand. You know the hand should remove. They should remove it. Now, I know a lady way back, 6 years ago. She told me she has shoes and bag, one set for £10,000. £10,000. Just the shoe and the bag. Now, where am I going? If you buy a shoe and bag of 1 million naira, for instance, and of course, ladies, you agree with me that we have a lot of it. Shoe and bag of 1 million. Now, if a block, which I know a piece of block sells for between 200 naira and 250 right now, depending on the area. So let's assume we average it at 220. 1,000 pieces is how much? 220,000. So multiply by 5. 1.1 something million. Okay, that is all the blocks you need to complete a bungalow. Now, talk about the sand. Talk about the cement. Talk about the granite. Talk about the iron or the iron rod. At the end of the day, the carcass, you can finish it with 3 million when we remove the money for the land. Just the carcass. You have not talked about roof. You have not talked about the finishing and all of that. But with 3 million. Now, one person can carry a bag and a shoe with a jacket of 3 million naira and is still a tenant somewhere. Now, I remembered many years ago, sir, I was in Indianapolis in the US, and I came out to speak that day. And I told the congregation, I said, there are many people who are here who work so hard, but they can't point to what they are doing with money. He said, God sent me here because of you to remove the veil covering your face. Sir, and I heard the pastor came forth, the general overseer that invited me to come and speak to the congregation. He said, from this day forward, I anoint you in the name of God, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, that you will take this gospel to the nations. When I got back to Nigeria, somebody met me and said, sir, who anointed you recently? I told him. He said, it is from heaven. He said, that is the assignment God has sent to you. Sincerely, I have seen a generation of wasters. You imagine that people are sleeping in latest cars. They don't have a flat. Sleeping inside. It's a generation of wasters. Ask this question as I go. That what happened? What was the spirit that was working in the lives of our parents and grandparents? When many of them were civil servants, school teachers, and yet they built houses. Some of them will come to class with Baba Dudu Ekono Gowan, Sise Pelebe Agidi Jollof, to come and sell in class. And we're buying it. And those were the money some of them were using to support their spouses and their families. And they built houses. We made jest of many of them, but they were landlords and landladies. See a generation where people are earning. Oh, some people, who, after I finish talking, some people will say it's inflation. Don't mind him. When you collect the money, it doesn't mean anything again. 250K, 500K. Are you the only one that is living in Nigeria that inflation is worrying? Your own is not inflation. Your own is inflate devil, inflate demon. Fact. Sincerely, we should approach things from the spiritual angle, especially as it concerns real estate. Because the Bible says the house is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that live in it. So it means that it is God that owns real estate, and He will only give it to those whoever He will. So that you work so hard does not mean you own your house. So allow God to open the eyes of those you are talking to. And I'm sure, after they've bought the house, they've bought the land, and they are coming to say thank you, they will also say, please, I'd like you to be my father, even though you look smaller. Because, you see, there are some people, you don't talk to them like a prospect. When you see that this one is having some element of demon, you tell them that, Oga, you don't know what is going on. You said, there's a woman I met. She was in government as a honorable member of the house. She finished. She was the essay to the governor again. She does not have one plot of land. And they approved 10 million for her to go and rent a house. when she told me, I said, so ma, what do you want to do with the 10 million? She said, of course, to rent a house. She was smiling. I said, you should be laughing, ma. You are laughing. You should be crying, ma. She said, what insult? I said, ma, when you leave now, you will remember that I said so. I shouldn't be laughing. That, ma, you said you did 4 years in the house. Now, you are representing the governor of a state. And they approved official residence for you 10 million. And they gave you the 10 million. And you want to go and use everything. I said, ma, go and buy a land of 1.5 million. If you like, rent 8.5 million a house. And be hungry inside. Sir, ladies and gentlemen, he ended up using the whole 10 million to rent a house. You know, that one has left physical. I can't cope. I can't contend. That's why I said there are some people that if God permits you, you will still have to tell them the truth. So the day God eventually busted the veil and she bought a property, she called me and said, I am so and so person. I just want to say thank you for those words you said that day. It may look insultive, but you are not the one feeding me. It's God that is feeding me. I've been eating before I met you, so I must tell you the truth. That the way you are going, you will crash. Rent a house of 10 million when you don't have 1 square meter. Have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. What do you want the bag? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Jesus. If they don't put this curtain, there'll be riots inside. Okay, on a flight from Abuja to Lagos.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Praise Aregbesola, and this is the first time I'm attending Gtext training, and I would say that it was really educative and informative. I sort of found out the things that I didn't know that I had seen on the group, but I needed explanation, and it worked so much for me. I have all the zeal and the determination that I wanted before I came for this. So I am very sure that I'm going to be doing this because it looks like something I really want to do. Thank you.
I'm Emmanuel Adewale, thanks to Gtext Homes. Just as their creed goes that we don't just sell properties to help you secure the future. I actually learned a lot this afternoon from our facilitator, Dr. Adeniyi, who taught us about proper relationship and how to also bring your customers on board. This business is real, and I'm glad that we're not just selling to customers. They help you. You are developed, you are being developed, and you know what to do when you meet a client out there. And thanks to Gtext once again. It's nice.
My name is Isaiah Laitukuku. I came for the Gtext live training, and today I've learned a lot. I've been imparted in terms of I've known how to be a good orator, and then I was enlightened, and then I'm very sure going back I will be implementing this, and very soon I will be making sales. Thank you.
My name is Dr. John Etim. I just in very short words would say there is excellence and there is par excellence. I think this is one training where, as a thriving and upcoming realtor, I found out that this business is real and you're comfortable, you are home. And I think one of the greatest things a realtor will ask for is to be comfortable with the company he or she works with. And I'm actually enjoying my time out here. It's been great so far. Very great, absolutely.